The beast, the beast, the beast, the beast, the beast, the beast, the beast from 20,000 fathoms.
Thanks for a whole year of science.
Ellie, boot up the door locks.
All the files of the whole park. It tells you everything. I gotta find the right file. Oh, this is it. This might be the right file.
I don't want you on this game right now.
What are you talking about?
You've been on kill 'em up games all day and all yesterday.
It's because my new favorite game.
I don't like it. You know.
This isn't the right file. This might be the right file. This isn't the right file. This might be the right file.
I was laying in my bed last night thinking about that, bro. Like, if I just, like, took a shovel and I just started to dig into my grass, I wonder when I'd hit the ocean, bro.
This isn't the right file. This might be the right file. This isn't the right file. You got it! Yes!
Dinosaurs lived a long time ago. They were terrible lizards, don't you know? Some ate plants, some ate meat, some ate fish, and some ate beets. And welcome back to Paleontologizing. Why isn't my soundboard working? There we go, I gotta figure that out. Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to Paleontologizing. For those of you who are here for the very, very first time, well, holy cow, I'm glad you could be here, and let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. As you might guess, looking at my office here. I work on dinosaurs. As a paleontologist, I study fossils.
Let's protect our fossils, because if they're removed, America loses them forever.
And holy cow, Celeste, thank you. Subscribing for 6 months at Tier 1?
The odds of this happening are so slim they are impossible to calculate.
Holy moly.
But then on top of that, to actually find the fossil makes the world of the dinosaur hunter the world of the long shot.
Celeste, didn't you just... Are you a new chatter and you've just subscribed for 6 months at Tier 1? Holy moly. Or, maybe you're... Not sure how to read this, but, just figured I would help out a friend of Science Streams. Holy cow, Celeste, I appreciate that more than you know. Holy moly, thank you very, very much. Blint is a very good friend of mine, and of course an ally for science here on Twitch. So I appreciate that tremendously. I really do. Thank you, and welcome to the channel. Here. Oh, let me close the door real quick, because I just realized it's open, and I don't want to bother any of my, my roommates at the new place here. But, anyway. For those of you who haven't tuned into a stream this week yet, check out the new digs. Hang on, be right back. There we go, that's better. This is my new office. I just moved this past weekend. I've been here a week now, as of today. So, it's been enough time to get this set up, to the extent that it is set up. Still working on it, but, yeah, anyway. This is going to be my workspace for the foreseeable future for doing my scientific work and my science outreach work here on Twitch. As a dinosaur paleontologist, I do what dinosaur paleontologists do. I study dinosaur fossils, I publish on them in the scientific literature. I dig up dinosaurs during the summers. I do a lot of field work in places like Utah and Wyoming, both of which I was streaming from last summer, streaming some live dinosaur digs. Check out the YouTube page if you want to see some of those VODs. That was a ton of fun. At least 3 new species of dinosaur we were excavating last summer. And really looking forward to being able to share those with you when the time comes. But if you want to see those get dug up, go check out the YouTube page. Anyway, as a dinosaur paleontologist, dinosaurs are my passion, but you really can't specialize too much. You got to know a little bit about the entire history of life on Earth, and that's what I cover here on this channel. It's not just dinosaurs. I know dinosaur. There's lots of dinosaurs on this channel because that's what I specialize in, but if you've got questions not just about dinosaurs, but about natural history, the fossil record, extinction, evolution, or the scientific method in general, do not hesitate with those questions, and we're going to have a very question-heavy stream today, I hope. I didn't have time to get a whole lot of other stuff prepared. We're not going to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire / Who Wants to Be a Paleontologist today. Didn't have time to write the questions, to do a bunch of troubleshooting, and was working on some of this setup too. I've got 2 new panels up there. Actually 3 new ones. 1, 2, 3. So this place is coming together. Yeah. And that is indeed a Pachycephalosaurus on the wall there, Hogan. Why is this not working? Hang on. Not admin. Restart and run as admin. There we go. That works. Hopefully that solves that problem. Anyway, you are totally right, Hogan. Pachycephalosaurus right there. Yeah. And I love the plants to keep expanding their range. Yeah, Claire Burr. We're going to be talking about plants a little bit today. We've got a new publication about plant-eating dinosaurs to discuss today. Something that I mentioned briefly in chat, and this is a talk that I actually saw at the big conference back in June, the Mesozoic Terrestrial Ecosystems Conference in Salt Lake City, Utah, that I presented at back in June. I saw one of the most memorable talks from that was about which plants dinosaurs were eating back then. How much energy could be garnered from each of these plants. It's really interesting stuff, and I can't wait to share the paper with you. We really need to get the author on here. Mariah is her name. She's super cool, and yeah, it'd be great to bring her on the show. So I'll see if we can do that sometime soon. Little Pink Bunny says you should get some bromeliads. Do bromeliads date back to the Mesozoic? I think they do, don't they? Yeah, and those are ginkgo leaves, Golganek. Yes, indeed. Ginkgo leaves, right up there. Good stuff. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Let me scroll up to the top of chat. We'll see who's here. And the top of my chat is already gone, because it took me a long time to get ready today. We got Danish Viking, Claire Burr, Nana Banananan, Golganek, Totally Tubular Tima, Ghostly Ghoul with 12 months of support. Holy cow, Ghostly Ghoul. That is extraordinary, and I really appreciate it, Ghostly Ghoul. Thank you, thank you. Keeping me here on the air for a long time. A whole year, as you said, Ghostly Ghoul. That's right. We'll go with that. Zypher, how are you doing, Zypher95? Welcome. Welcome. Why does that name sound familiar? But it's good to have you here. Delanero, howdy to you. It's good to have you here. Gamer Pino says hello, everyone, and hello to you too, Gamer Pino. I like that emoji with hat. Very nice. Womp Womp Sad is back. How are you doing? I'm glad you've returned. How are things? Tarquin is here as well. How you doing, Tarquin? Kodali. much, Shaken Kodali. You were probably one of the first chatters today, weren't you? It's good to have you back. I'm glad to have you back. I almost said it's glad to have you back. Live broadcast, everyone. Anything can happen. And Celeste says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, especially, Celeste, and thank you again for your incredible support. By the way, that's really going to help us with our Partner Plus push. So thank you for that. Thank you very, very much for your generous support. Bet Medler, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, Bet Medler. And it then did. End it. What's shaking with you? Hogan and Ash Rubber, Charlie's Dragon, and Kaya in the Sky. Creatrix Brit. How you doing, Brit? Welcome, welcome. Pothok. Hadn't seen that cold open video before. Welcome, Pothok, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. But yeah, and Golganek, I think we might make it this month. We'll see about that with the subs. For yeah, we'll have to see. And that's an interesting note in the activity feed. Trappy Jenkins reached a 3-stream streak this minute. Welcome back, Trappy Jenkins. It's good to have you here. That's a new thing. Never seen that before. Cool. Yeah. And Styracosaur skull print. Wait, what do you mean, Golganek? Did I miss something? I don't think we have a Styracosaur here. Batmedler says the new office looks great. I appreciate that, Batmedler. I really do. Yeah. And Ash Rubber says your place looks better every time, Danny. I love it. Thank you, Ash Rubber. It's important to me that that's the case. I'm trying here. Trying to make this look good. We're gonna get a better camera for here too, and a better angle, but I've got all of my books here now, as you can see. Let's get this cord out of the way. Haven't quite had a major campaign in cord management yet, cable management, but we will do that. Don't you worry. We'll get those cables managed. HD and HB. Oh, did I already say hello to you? You said new camera angle. Welcome, welcome, HD. It's good to have you here. And Little Pink Pony, how are you doing? I'm glad to see you. Excuse me. Flip Dippy says, eating dinosaurs, I wonder which would taste best. They might wonder the same thing about you, Flip Dippy. Is the Dippy in your name a reference to Dippy the Diplodocus specimen? By the way, that composite Diplodocus specimen? That's one of the world's most famous individual dinosaurs, although it's actually like 5 dinosaurs. But yeah. And bromeliads are among the most recent plant groups to have emerged. Oh, okay, Jody Fish. Guiana Shield, approximately 100 million years ago. Oh, so they do date back to the Cretaceous then, Jody Fish. Cool. I did not know that. Bad Mendex, how are you doing? Welcome back to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. And MS Coggins, hello. How are things? Your new office is looking better and better every stream, Danny. I appreciate that, SB. I really do. Thank you very much. That feedback is helpful and encouraging, and I appreciate it. I really do.
A secret moment in the very beginning of this strange dinosaur's life.
Thank you, Might Shiny, for the 3 months of support.
The new space looks great, by the way.
I really appreciate that also. Holy cow. Good stuff, Might Shiny. Good stuff. Thank you. 3 months of support at Tier 2. Yeah. That's what we want to see. Thank you so much, Might Shiny. It does help with the Partner Plus goal. It's going to help a lot. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Yeah. The white balance or whatever looks good. Tony is my baby. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm working on it. Thank you for that. I misspoke and can't brain. Of course, I meant to say Pachycephalosaur, not Styracosaur. They've both got big parietal and squamosal spikes there, Golganex, so don't worry about it too much. They're both marginocephalian dinosaurs. You could have done a lot worse. Believe me. And the office looks more and more like a museum exhibit every day. Thank you, Steely Dan. That makes my heart proud. Thank you, Steely Dan. Yakuzik is back too. How are you doing, Yakuzik? Welcome, welcome. Might Shiny says, I just upgraded this month, but yeah, I love this channel. Thank you, Might Shiny. It really will help with the Partner Plus push. Here, let's get the command for that again. I am currently on month 2 of the Partner Plus push. This is going to be a huge deal for me and for this channel if we're able to get this. Twitch has introduced a new program whereby Twitch partners can earn a 70-30 revenue split rather than just 50-50. So that'll be essentially like a 40% increase in my revenue. Just like that. All we have to do is get above 350 recurring subscriptions. So unfortunately that does not count gift subs or Prime subs, aka Twitch gaming subs. Only recurring subscriptions, ones that recur every month. But if we can do that, like we did last month, so we know it's possible, we can do that for this month, December, and then for January, then holy cow, that's a 40% increase in revenue, which means that I can start... I'll be able to afford to pay other paleontologists to come on these broadcasts as guest interviewees. And that is kind of a dream of mine, to be able to give something back to the paleontological community beyond just the outreach that I do. Actually put money in paleontologists' pockets for doing outreach here on Paleontologizing, here on Twitch. So that's why we're aiming for this. That's why we're trying to do this. So if any of you are not yet subscribed, or maybe you lucked into a gift sub, or maybe you've got a Prime sub and you're thinking about, I don't know, if you really appreciate paleontology, if you want fossil science to be a thing here on Twitch, and if you would like to see other paleontologists appear as interviewees on this channel, consider maybe converting to a paid subscription month by month. I would really appreciate it, and it would help us reach our goal for sure. So, anyway, that's the end of that spiel. Don't want this to sound like a commercial. And I got sucked into Twitch. Welcome back. Does look good. I hadn't seen it yet. Well, welcome, Arg. It's good to have you here. Yeah. And your Gondwana Pangea tattoo is fully healed now. Looks very good. Nice, Yakuzik. That's super cool. Feel free to post a picture in the Discord if you want people to see. I would love to see that. Provided the tattoo is in a shareable spot. If it's in a more intimate place, then don't worry about it. Anyway, it's been a long day of getting stuff ready. And subs are discounted at the moment, so it's win-win. Yes, indeed. They are, aren't they, Janine's Mess? Subs are discounted right now, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, folks, that's how dinosaurs are. Unpredictable.
Loving the green in the setup, Danny. It's looking great.
Thank you, so to speak. Have I told you lately that I really like your name? It's really fun to say phonetically, so to speak. That's clever. I'm glad you like the green. Yeah, it's funny. I started putting up some of these plants today, and then I realized, holy cow, we've got some Mesozoic plant news to talk about today. So,
you should enjoy science as much as you can. And you can't enjoy science alone. You have to share it.
You do have to share it. And Squishy Robots, thank you for sharing that. For your 3 months of support. Thank you for sharing science with all of us here. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting science outreach here on this planet. On this platform. Oh boy, thank goodness it's Friday. Last stream of the week. But yeah. Badmandex says, when I get paid, I'll definitely be subbing again. I would really appreciate that, Badmandex. Yeah. Holy cow, I appreciate that. I really do. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot when people show that these streams mean something to like that honestly, it makes my heart proud when people go, you know what, I like hearing about fossil science. I think this is important. I want to support it. That's the highest praise I could get, you know?
Is on this planet, so he's not wrong.
Hogan, thank you for the 300 bits there. Holy cow. And Twitch just matched that with 45 bits. They matched it to the tune of 45 bits. Thank you, Hogan. Thank you, Twitch, too. Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. I appreciate that, Hogan. And Sandwich Nom Nom says, sup peeps, how are you doing, Sandwich? Welcome back. It's good to have you here. Yeah. And Dr. Irrefutable, what is this here?
Oh, Lisa, there's a little present for you lying in the driveway.
What could it be? Thank you, Dr. Irrefutable, for those 400 bits. I really appreciate that. It's funny, when you cheer 400 bits, either that one happens or a very similar alert that's a little bit more disappointing. And it's random which one happens, you know? Yeah. Anybody who's familiar with that Simpsons episode might already know what I'm talking about. But Twitch, thank you also for matching those 40 bits there. That's excellent. Yeah, and you forgot about Friday? Well, Badmandex, good news for you. It's Friday today. So, happy Friday. It's always fun seeing which of the clips / alerts happen. Yeah, Charlie's Dragon, thank you. Oh, and by the way, that reminds me. To any and all... Oh.
I can see that my 50,000 a year has been well spent.
Holy cow! Badmandex? Holy moly. Thank you. Tier 3 for 4 months. Holy cow. Shoot, holy moly. Holy cow, Badmandex, that is incredible. Tier 3 for 4 months. That'll get us through the Partner Plus push. That is phenomenal. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, Badmandex. I really, really do. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for that support. That is fantastic, and I really appreciate it. Holy cow. Happy to help toward that goal of yours? It does help a lot. That is 6 points there. 1 subscription at tier 1 counts for 1 point. A tier 3 counts for 6 points. And you did that for 4 months? Holy moly. That's going to go a long way toward getting us to our goal. So thank you so much, Badmandex. It means a lot. It really does. Holy cow. Thank you. Good stuff. Good stuff. What was I saying before that? Oh, yeah. Moderators.
I can see that my 50,000 a year has been well spent.
Charlie's Dragon. Holy cow. Resubscribed at tier 3, Charlie's Dragon. Is that new, Charlie's Dragon? Is that new? Holy cow. I mean, once again.
I can see that my
Oh my goodness.
50,000 a year has
Holy cow, Reagan Nation. Charlie's Dragon and Reagan Nation. Holy moly. Here we go. Thank you very, very much. Holy moly, Reagan Nation. That is phenomenal. It really, really is. And I appreciate that immensely. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah, holy cow. Reagan Nation. Tier 3 also. You and Charlie's Dragon. And Bad Mandex. You together, that is a combined 18 sub points for this month. And Golganek, thank you for spending all those channel points to update the PPP count. Let's take a look at that right now. Here. $153 as of the start of today's stream. Let's see if it's updated now. Sometimes these things take a little while to update. It still says 153, but and holy cow, Ash Rubber, thank you for those 10 gift subs there. I do really appreciate that. Holy cow, Ash Rubber. And look at this beautiful bird here to herald the arrival of 10 gift subs, getting us closer to our sub goal. And, oh, uh-oh. Oh, shoot.
Ashrubber is overloading the system with 10 gift subs.
Ash Rubber. Holy moly, thank you, thank you. There's 10 people in chat now. We'll not have to worry about any ads for the next 30 days. 10 times 30. That's 300 days of ad-free viewing for those lucky chatters, Ash Rubber. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Good stuff. Holy cow. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody's saying, I wonder why it hasn't come through yet? Oh, Claire was saying that. Well, with this... Here I'm sharing my Partner Plus page with you right now. We got November. This month, we're trying to get that 350. We're at 153. This only updates maybe once every half hour, or once every hour, or maybe once every few hours. But I promise you, I'll let you know when that's... I'll keep that count updated. I will. Yeah. And our view is different from that. Yeah, no, I understand, Lenina. I understand. That's why I showed you. Yeah. Oh, Moobot said Hogan upgraded but hasn't come through in alerts. Oh, wait, what? Did Hogan just update too? Holy cow. And yeah, Goganek, remind me if you'd like to. If that'd be fun for you. If not, don't worry about it. But remind me to look at it another spot in stream and we'll check it out in a little bit. I was already at tier 3 and just added another 6 months at tier 3. But it wasn't at the end of my previous sub, so maybe that messed things up. Yeah, it should be at the end of... But holy cow, Hogan! That alone is worth some celebration there. Holy cow, I'm running out of different videos. Holy cow. do I appreciate that. Thank you, Hogan. Fantastic. Now, before all of that incredible generosity, which I am deeply grateful for, thank you so much. Holy cow. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Special notice to the moderators on this channel. You have a new tool in your tool belt. If you type in !, hey Danny, which should look like this, and that's for mods only.
Hey!
There we go. Yeah. If you ever need to alert me to anything, if I'm not paying close enough attention to chat or whatever, if something's going on, you can type in that command, and that'll let me know that something's going on, and that's only available to moderators. So, yeah. For whatever reason, the old one broke. It was just ! hey before, and it just stopped working one day. I don't know why. But hey Danny, for whatever reason, works. Maybe it's something with the word hey. Maybe that was like, that word was excluded from command. I don't know. But, yeah. Kodali says, what was make-believe?
Ontogeny.
Ontogeny of mod comments. There you go, HD, yeah. Make-believe is, well, if someone ever says something very fanciful, and then chat goes, well, where did they come up with that? I can do this.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Yeah. That one's only for me. And thank you, Hogan.
300 bits to Hogan 698's cheer.
Holy cow!
1,000 bits can make a wonderful difference in promoting the appreciation and understanding of fossil science here on Twitch.
I'm sorry, Sir David, that's not 1,000. That's 3,000. Holy cow, Hogan! That's $30 big to me. And you paid even more than that, though. Thank you, Hogan. Holy cow. That is pretty incredible, Hogan. That is pretty incredible. Thank you. That's like groceries for me for a week. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Hogan. Holy cow. Extraordinary. I really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Excellent. And we've got some new level 4 hype train emotes, in part thanks to Hogan and Hogan's generosity there. Hogan's hero. Hogan is a hero. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, you only have... Yeah, there you go, HD. Yeah. Real Sugar got a gift sub. Excellent. And Invisible Dimensions digs all the greenery. Thank you for saying so. I appreciate that. I've been excited to show off some plants here in the new office. Having different plants on different days, and I'm working on getting some more too. So, yeah, I'm glad you like that. We've got some ferns. We've got a cycad. We've got some ginkgos, or a ginkgo. Yeah. All plants that were very common during the Mesozoic era, during the time of the non-avian dinosaurs. So, it's excellent. Yeah. I'm glad you appreciate that. Looks great. I appreciate that. Thank you. All you need is pineapple. I have some pineapple in the fridge, Jody Fish. Maybe if I get very hungry, I'll go get some and eat it. But yeah. Saggy Iguana says, wow, what a background. Thank you, Saggy Iguana. Thank you. It took a while to set up today, along with OBS and some other stuff. But, yeah, not too shabby, right? Yeah. I'm, happy with how things look today. Getting better at this, I feel. Yeah. We're working on it. The office is coming together. It's coming together. And MacGyver, yes indeed, I moved recently. I'm glad you like the new office. And Arg says, I wish I could hang more things on my walls, but that's apartment living for you? Yeah. I just recently got out of that, Arg. Believe it or not, I no longer live in an apartment. I live, for the first time in many years, well, yeah, at least 5 years, I live in a house now. So, yeah, I can do things like put these panels on the wall, screw them in with a drill, and it's fine. Bratfamet says, congrats on the house. Oh, I just live here, Bratfamet. I do not own the house. The cats own the house. Like we talked about earlier, you know? Congratulations, Teacher Danny. Thank you, Nafron. Yeah, house life. I know, right? Sleeping indoors. It's pretty nice. I'd recommend it, you know? Gotta say, it's, you know, this is pretty swanky. You know? And MacGyver says, you have cats? It's really the other way around, MacGyver. The cats have me. You'll probably see some of them in a bit. Those of you who... How many of you in chat were here for the crossover stream with Science Streams a couple days ago? And you saw one of my landlords there. One of the felines made an appearance. How many of you were here for that? In the Campanile at UC Berkeley, but that's our little secret. There you go, HD. You're here for the cat stream? Yeah, yeah. It was good stuff. Yeah, I saw the VOD and it inspired a picture I will show you on Monday. Excellent, Claire Burr. Excellent. I can't wait to see. Yeah. I had missed because of work. I get that, Hogan. Yeah, everybody's got to work. That's unfortunately the world we live in. Well, not everybody, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I must have looked away and missed it, says Lady Fiend. Well, I'm sure the cats will be making another appearance at some point. I'm pretty sure of it. You have your bird feeder yet? I put up the hummingbird feeder, but not the Niger seed feeder. I'll have to do that, HD. Yeah, that'll be cool. Oh, and Claire Burst is here as the Yakuzic tattoo. Well, well, well. Oh, very cool. Thank you, Claire, for posting that, and thank you, Yakuzic, for sharing. Take a look at that. This is excellent. Here, we'll return to this in a minute. But let me explain to you real quick. Well, you know what? Let's see. Can we find a video? Let's take a look at this. Never seen this before.
Looking at the history of the Earth, we can go back to a time when all the continents we're familiar with, and some we might not be, were joined together in one supercontinent.
Yep,
The
Pangea.
supercontinent was Pangea, which means
is great.
all the Earth in Greek. So obviously, if
Hey,
they're in a
Archeros,
different
welcome,
position
welcome.
now than they were then, they must be moving.
And they
This
are.
is called continental drift, first proposed by German scientist Alfred Wegener.
Yeah, and we had a special stream for the birthday of Alfred Wegener. How many of you were here for that stream? That was a ton of fun. Here. Let's find that on the YouTube page. Continental Drift, Alfred Wegener. Yeah. Talking about Continental Drift here.
At that time, man and the in one vast supercontinent.
Here's the problem.
Dinosaurs soon occupied every corner of that world.
Jayco, thank you for the 4 months.
Danny Hype Piece.
How are you doing, Jayco? Welcome. Welcome. It is good to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Skinner wasn't the first scientist to speculate that the Earth had once been dominated by a supercontinent, but he was the first to pull together all the evidence and make a strong case for it. Unfortunately, his peers weren't very receptive. There was no mechanism to explain how the continents might plow through the oceans.
Yeah, so how do we know that that's the case?
In his book, The Origin of Continents. But is this all just
And here, I'll give you a link to my video too before I give you a link to this video. There we go.
Speculation? How do we know this is not some wild guess?
This is super
Firstly,
cool, Yakuza.
just by looking at a map, you can tell that there is some sort of pattern. The coastlines of Africa and South America line up quite well, indicating they could have been together at one point. But people often see things where they don't exist, like a face on the moon or a shape in the clouds. Clearly, if something was together, then pulled apart, they must share something more unique than land itself. Many fossils of the same species have been found across continents. These are species that cannot swim, so they had no way of crossing any ocean.
And it's interesting that they chose Allosaurus for this right here, but Allosaurus does occur in North America, of course. Allosaurus happens to be the state fossil of Utah. It also occurs in Europe as well, Allosaurus europaeus, and in Africa. I forget what species of Allosaurus it is there, but yeah. Allosaurus is actually a good example of this, even though it's not like a traditional example. I like that. I like that a lot.
The Triassic land reptile, Lystrosaurus.
Oh, and Lystrosaurus is not a reptile. It's not. It's a mammal relative. It's a synapsid. And MacGyver says, ugly. Well, I mean, Lystrosaurus and other Dicynodonts, they'll look different depending on how you illustrate them. You can make Dicynodonts look really cute, too. Or you can make them look really ugly. So that might be kind of in the middle. But that's maybe a little bit cuter there. This is more on the ugly side, I would say. There's also multiple species of Lystrosaurus. There's a bunch. But, there we go. That's not super ugly. That's one of the larger species of Lystrosaurus there, I believe. That's a really nice sculpt, actually. I like that a lot. Anyway. Yeah, cute. No, I'm confused. Yeah. Anyway, Lystrosaurus. The cool thing about Lystrosaurus is it comes out on the other side of the Permian mass extinction, and it's just everywhere after that. So these little guys were, they got big. Well, they became very widespread after the end of the Permian extinction event.
Has been found in Antarctica, India, and southern Africa. Lystrosaurus definitely did not know how to swim an entire ocean. Fossils are not the only things to extend across continents. The Appalachian Mountains of the United States, for example, continue into Ireland and Scandinavia.
MacGyver says, what if all dinosaurs were inherently cute and cuddly? I mean, cuteness and cuddliness, I think, are in the eye or the arms of the beholder, are they not? Yeah. And Lions Forever Trash, how are you doing? Welcome, Lions Forever. Good to have you here.
When rocks are formed, certain minerals inside the rock point to the magnetic north. Over millions of years, the magnetic poles change significantly, which allows scientists to compare samples.
And we're talking about Pangea here because one of our community members got a Pangea tattoo.
Pretty convincing, but
this looks, holy cow, a lot like the Pangea tattoo here, which is awesome. We've got North America and Europe and Asia over here, Eurasia, Africa, South America, India. Is that Madagascar there? Madagascar should still be stuck down there, right? And then Antarctica, Australia, New Zealand. Very cool.
What was the accepted theory before continental drift? When faced with the issue of the same animal being separated by an ocean, people thought, hey, there must have been a land bridge. Now there are some very real land bridges, like between India and Sri Lanka up until 1480, and the Bering Land Bridge up until almost 17,000 years ago. But these other ones were—
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what was that? Until 1480?
Like between India and Sri Lanka up until 1480.
There was a land bridge between India and Sri Lanka until the year 1488 CE? India map. India and Sri Lanka are separated by a good deal of seawater, are they not? Holy cow. There was a land bridge between them? Until 1480, that one right there, perhaps? I did not know that. The Sri Lankan land bridge got wrecked in a storm, I think. Well, the last of it. Charlie's Dragon, we're going down a rabbit hole here. Buckle up.
The debate about whether Ram Setu being natural or a man-made bridge is going on from years. Many discussions have led to some interesting things that make us astounded about Ram Setu. Ram Setu or Ram's Bridge is...
Okay, what? Ram Setu. Let's just look it up on Wikipedia. There we go. Adam's Bridge, also known as Rama's Bridge or Ramasetu, is a chain of natural limestone shoals between Pamban Island, also known as Ramaswaram Island, off the southeast coast of Tamil Nadu, India, and Mannar Island off the northwestern coast of Sri Lanka. Geological evidence suggests the bridge was formerly a land connection between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so I guess there's still a lot that's not known of it, but there's a Landsat image there. Very interesting. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, we're not going to get too much into that right now, because we're already on a tangent talking about Pangaea, but let's get back into that.
The Bering Land Bridge up until almost 17,000 years ago. But these other ones were quite wild, like one from Brazil to South Africa, from Central America to Japan, and many others. These supposed land bridges must have been tall enough as the deepest part of the ocean and wide enough not to collapse. That would be quite a formation.
That's a weird way to put that.
These land bridges just vanished without a trace. Wegener's theory was first rejected by virtually everyone, and he was ridiculed. The continents have moved, are currently moving, and will continue to move. This is why we have mountains, volcanoes, and all sorts of features. And until next time, thanks for watching.
That kind of ended abruptly, but shoot. Continental drift. Let's watch the Bill Nye one.
1911. A meteorologist named Alfred Wegener was browsing through some books when something caught his eye. A list of identical plant and animal fossils that had been found on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Wegener was intrigued. How could the same species have gotten from one part of the world
goofy little
to
scene.
He examined the eastern coast of South America and the western coast of Africa, and was struck how the shapes of the two coastlines might fit together. The more he looked, the more links he found. Species of land mammals in East Africa also inhabited the island of Madagascar. How did that happen? Did the animals evolve in both places at once? Or did they somehow cross from one land to the other, swimming hundreds of miles across
He's
the
in your
ocean?
office, HT. Does my office look like that? It looks that fancy? Holy cow. And Kaicho, yeah, it is a little bit of a goofy video.
The world had once formed a giant single landmass that he called Pangaea, from the Greek Pangaea, meaning all earth. It was in Pangaea that the plants and animals found on opposite sides of the world had once shared the same home. Then, over hundreds of millions of years, Pangaea had split apart, and its jigsaw pieces had drifted to their present locations. Wegener called his theory continental drift.
Yep.
Wegener wasn't the first scientist to speculate that the Earth had once been dominated by a supercontinent, but he was the first to pull together all the evidence and make a strong case for it. Unfortunately, his peers weren't very receptive. There was no mechanism to explain how the continents might plow through the oceans.
Yep, he didn't have a
Continental
mechanism.
drift was just too incredible to believe. As a result, his discovery was largely ignored.
But, oh man, I'm going to share this video with you here. Here, I'll give you a link to this one. But this next one is really beautiful, and I think you're really going to like it. We watched this toward the end of our Alfred Wegener stream for his birthday back in, was it October? When was that? Nope. Goodness, I don't know. Anyway. You're gonna like this a lot. It's pretty excellent.
Hardly anyone in the early 20th century said, why are there oceans and why are there continents?
It's a good question, though.
Wegener is a wonderful example of how science benefits from people coming from outside a scientific field and saying, well, why don't you look at it this way? Getting into a balloon and going up into the air for a meteorologist is like getting into a boat and going out on the ocean for an oceanographer.
He goes up in a balloon because he wants to take measurements of the atmosphere. He's not the Wizard of Oz. He's a scientist doing science.
Wegener flew as much and as often as he could. He wants to write the best.
There you go, Hogan.
book on
Yeah,
physics
if you look
of
at the continental shelves.
atmosphere.
Yep.
No one had ever studied the atmosphere in the high Arctic before.
So, consummate scientist.
This is a time in history when one of the most exciting things you can do as a scientist is to go on an Arctic expedition.
It was adventure travel of a North Pole, South Pole kind. Wegener's out there in the winter night taking these huge box kites and attaching recording instruments to them and then winching them back down to get his instruments back.
Nobody ever said that Arctic exploration was a picnic.
Wegener had to learn how to hunt seals, how to drive a dog sled, how to travel on ice without being swept into open water, how to protect your dogs from polar bears.
Are these videos great, Claire? They're really nice.
The travel in Greenland, his time with icebergs,
The way in which the ice flows form jigsaw puzzle pieces.
the way the ice cap splits apart and fissures. All of this was part of his imagination when he made his discovery of continental drift.
And, shoot, when we're talking about all this stuff, the icebergs and everything, that must feel like we need a slight bit of a change of scenery here. So why don't we do that? There we go, something like this, maybe? Or maybe Something like this. Very nice.
The travel in Greenland, his time with icebergs,
The way in which the ice floes form jigsaw puzzle pieces.
the way the ice cap splits apart in
Stream.
fissures.
Thanks, Extra.
All of this was part of his imagination when he made his discovery of continental drift.
I wouldn't really call it a discovery. What he really had was an idea.
He went to his office, and his office mate said, "Look at this beautiful atlas my parents gave me for Christmas." And he wrote to his fiancée, "Did you ever notice how South America fits into Africa?" Let me pause and say, there isn't a child on Earth over the age of 12 who hasn't had the same thought, right? You can see it. What was different about what Wegener saw? There were lines on the map that represented depths under the water, and they're exactly the same shape. That means that this is part of the structure of the Earth. How did that come about? Maybe the continents drifted apart.
It was radical because it was new. The Americans say the continents are fixed. Europeans think they move, but they think they move up and down. And Wegener says you're all wrong. Yes, they move, but they move horizontally, not vertically.
He would write a paper in 1912, and he said, "I think everybody will really be happy." And of course, everyone wasn't really happy. Everyone became very unhappy.
There was a almost universal rejection of his theories to begin with.
Here's the problem. Scientists aren't very suspicious of fundamental novelty.
And that's true. I mean, that is really, really true. As scientists, we are always on the lookout for stuff that's not quite right. You know, it's like we're really suspicious of anything that might be not supported by the evidence. And when you've got a really outlandish idea like this, like the continents themselves moving across the Earth's surface, that's an extraordinary claim. And in science, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If I'm going to tell you that, if I'm going to try and convince you, chat, that my lights here in the office are controlled by, invisible magic elves, like, I better have some evidence to back that up, you know? Not just pics or it didn't happen, but, like, give us, a specimen of one of these elves so that we can dissect it and measure it and everything else, you know? So yeah, and that is a Sagan quote. Yeah, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I don't know if Carl Sagan actually came up with that. Maybe he did. But yeah. Poor elf. Dissect the elf? Or at least, X-ray the elf. Man, sorry, that was a poor choice of words. But you get what I mean, you know? You gotta have proof to back up your claims, especially if you're making really extraordinary claims. And Wegener was right about the continents moving, but a lot of his evidence wasn't quite up to par yet. Up to par? Below par? I'm not wealthy enough to play golf. Nor would I want to. But anyway, it's, miniature golf is fun. But Wegener didn't have a mechanism for how the continents could move. He thought that they were literally like plowing through the rest of the Earth's crust. And now we know that there are different continental plates, and they're kind of floating on the Earth's mantle. And different plates will subduct below one another depending on their density, stuff like that. So yeah, DNA testing on elf hair, that would work, Golganek. Yeah. The elves were already processed into lithium battery fuel. There you go, kind Joe. There you go. Yeah. And Badmandex says, Danny, how long did the am I right in saying Pachy? It is a Pachycephalosaurus, yeah. How long did that take to print? This one took about, I think about 100 hours to print for this guy here. Yeah. And I've not painted it yet, so it's still the original, 3D filament color. But yeah. Took a DNA test to 100% dromaeosaur. How would they know that? Because we don't have dromaeosaurid DNA, Trappy Jenkins. Yeah. And Hogan makes a really good point, too. It seems similar to how Darwin, old Chucky D, old Charlie Darwin, didn't publish his ideas for many years because he felt there wasn't enough supporting evidence for the driver of evolution. Yeah, his whole idea of natural selection was the kicker, and he took years and years to accumulate enough evidence where he finally felt comfortable publishing that, And he didn't know about genes. He didn't know about DNA at the time. That hadn't been discovered yet. And so Darwin's ideas were very incomplete at the time that he published them. The discovery of DNA could have completely overturned, this idea of evolution. Like, it could have been that all was for naught. But Darwin was actually onto something. So the discovery of DNA and genes actually basically proved evolution, which is really cool. That's how good science works. Just like with Alfred Wegener here, as you'll see. He didn't have the mechanism at the time, but the subsequent history of science vindicated him.
He was regarded as an outsider by the geoscience community because he had no academic credentials in that field. And so he was not considered qualified to make any statements in that field. What he was doing that was so different, though, was drawing together multiple lines of evidence, not just geology, but vegetation and paleontology. The botanical people responded very positively because it explained the distribution of plants and animals over the world.
Yeah.
In different places on Earth, you saw virtually the same fossil records. The stratigraphic columns were extremely similar as well. And Wegener's idea, his big idea, was you could explain all of those things if the continents had moved.
So he would write a book in 19...
And shoot, this is, paleontologists were actually on board with this idea before a lot of other Earth scientists were. I can find that. There we go.
Continents drifting about the globe is as old as the idea of flights to the moon, and until recently, equally.
We watched this on the Alfred Wegener stream.
Some new discoveries in geology and geophysics. To begin with, what is the evidence for continental drift? More tenuous, but if you place Australia fairly close to India, there are certain geological contours, minerals, and so on, which would seem to link the two continents together.
This is from, what,
but
the 1970s?
Formations that leave traces
1970, yeah.
And the study of fossils,
yeah.
Paleontologists have always been keen enthusiasts for the drift theory, and certain dinosaurs do provide evidence.
They do indeed.
Animals such as this little dinosaur here, Coelophysis, will do very well. You can see from the hind limbs that Coelophysis was a little fast-running dinosaur.
Yep.
We know Coelophysis from some deposits in Arizona and also in Rhodesia.
And Rhodesia, which is today Tanzania? Rhodesia. What's the proper name of this country nowadays? Is it Tanzania? Anyway, he's talking about Centarsus, aka Megapnosaurus. AKA, well, I forget. But I'm going to be 3D printing this critter very soon, I hope. Because I've got a file of this animal. Zimbabwe, thank you, Flying Spaghetti Monster, in Jimonwe. Zimbabwe, thank you. Magisterics, Zimbabwe, thank you, thank you. There is my Centarsis skull right there. There's the eye socket, and this is with the supports and everything. But this file is all ready to go. I'm printing something else right now, but that might be next. Yeah. Yeah. And when did the idea of continental drift start to be largely accepted? Ooh, a Phalilus. That's why this documentary here is really interesting. Yeah.
To begin with, what is the evidence for continental drift?
Because this is during that transition.
The geometry.
You know?
Most people must have noticed that the coast of Africa is a very similar shape
I'll give you a link
to
to
the
this.
coast of South America. It was pointed out ages ago by Francis Bacon in the time of James I, but no one took the thing very seriously until Alfred Wegener, a polar explorer, just before the First War, suggested that once
First World War, he means.
fitted together like
World War I.
pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. And in fact, they do fit.
Isn't that cool?
Really rather well.
I love this globe.
You get little gaps. In fact,
Yeah.
I think...
So it did definitely take a while, and it was through the 1960s, 70s, and 80s that this change really took place. And because of, well, there are a number of female geographers and geologists who sometimes go unheralded in this, and to the point where I don't even know their names actually. But yeah. It was it took a while, but if an idea is true in science, it will eventually be found to be true. That's the cool thing about science, is that even if you have entrenched interests, even if you have an old boys club, even if you have, you know, some degree of dogma, eventually the truth will come out. That's how science works, you know? Yeah.
The other. Today, of course, you can't get across the Bering Straits. But in those days, there are many reasons for believing that the Bering Straits region was much warmer than it is today, and also...
And Cosmos says reliable science, maybe. No, I mean, that's the thing, Cosmos. Yeah, when I say science, that means science. I'm not talking about pseudoscience. That's the thing, is that pseudoscience does not really change in the way that science does, because it's not based on evidence. It's based on feelings, hopes, dreams, superstitions, etc. So yeah. Shoot, young Earth creationism is a good example of that, Cosmos. You know, using these ideas from, you know, Bishop Ussher back in the 1600s, trying to calculate the age of the Earth based on the number of begats in the book of Genesis. Using that to determine the age of the Earth, rather than, you know, actually using the Earth. You know, that's an excellent example of pseudoscience there. And like, oh, it doesn't change because this guy, you know, back in the 1600s said this, so he must definitely be correct, and we must hold to that at all costs, you know? So yeah. Anyway, yeah. And Zimbabwe, South of Tanzania. Thank you, Spartan. Yeah, I had just gotten those names mixed up. It's the prominent Z in there that threw me. I thought Tanzania, it was Zimbabwe instead.
So I can see that my 50,000 a year has been well spent.
Holy cow! Spartan. 40 months of support. Holy cow, do I appreciate that, Spartan. Thank you for being such a stalwart supporter for those multiple years there. I'm not even going to do the whole that's almost a whole year joke. Not for a tier 3 sub. That's incredible, Spartan, and I really appreciate your ongoing support. It means a whole lot to me. It really does. Thank you. How are you, Spartan? I hope things are good. Have you seen the new office, by the way? Of course, you have, right? Anyway, nearly a year, I'm sure. Spartan, more than 3 years. Thank you so much for keeping me online for that long. I really do appreciate it. Holy cow. Yeah, you seen the new Office? Excellent. Yeah. Spartan, thank you for everything. Appreciate you. Anyway, let's get back to Alfred Wegener here. This is such a poignant story, and I want to continue it.
Brief moment.
Finish it up. Murph,
Are the only species
Tier 2.
to comprehend and appreciate the great dinosaurs.
Thank you, Murph, for the 18 months of support.
Oh, I like the added green to the office.
Thank you, Murph. We'll be talking about green today. We'll be talking about Mesozoic plants in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about which ones were particularly good to eat for plant-eating dinosaurs. And how we can know that. Really cool paper that I'm excited to share with you. Yeah. Good stuff. 9 on the 20th. Nice, Cosmos. Cool. Yeah. And Hogan. Science advances even when the idea is not accepted at first, and pseudoscience is rejected because it just doesn't stand up to scrutiny. Exactly, Hogan. Yeah. Agreed, Hogan. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with this video here. Thank you again, Murph. I appreciate you. 18 months of support at Tier 2. Appreciate you, Murph.
In 15, people said, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. And then he wrote another book in 1920. He comes up with the name Pangea. And then he wrote another one in 1922. And he kept fixing it and fixing it and fixing it. It's one thing to think of an idea, and it's another thing to work it out for 20 or 30 years.
That book's still available on Amazon.
Yep, it is.
Continental drift was something he was interested in, but it was never the focus of his scientific life.
The Arctic pulled him back in. He was really too old, almost 50 years old.
He landed there with 98 tons of equipment.
And from the beginning, things didn't go well.
They had many things go wrong.
The base in the middle of the ice cap did not have enough food, and he said, this is my responsibility to resupply.
And he got several sleds together.
It's the worst conditions you can possibly imagine. His companions wanted to give up. And at twilight, Wegener said, let's go for a walk.
I love this.
And he took them out and pointed to the ice and pointed to the sky and said, we're trying to find out how all this works. It doesn't matter whether we live or die. The important thing is that the work go on.
And 2076 McKee, thank you for the follow. Somebody's excited for the stream. Appreciate the follow. Here, let's go back just a little bit.
And he took them out and pointed to the ice and pointed to the sky and said, we're trying to find out how all this works. It doesn't matter whether we live or die. The important thing is that the work go on.
And I guess that's why I love Alfred Wegener, because it's not really about himself. It's that he believes in science, a kind of great metaphorical expedition.
At the end of all this, they were able to supply the station at the middle of the ice, and then they got there, and there wasn't enough food to last the winter for all of them. Wegener said, I'm going to go back to the coast. He didn't like to ride on the dog sled. He liked to ski next to the dogs.
It's probably trying to give the dogs an easier time there. Maybe that's my first thought. You know? Make it a little easier on the dogs.
He had a heart attack and died. He's still there. The German government wanted to bring him back for a big funeral, and his wife said, no, leave him there. He's where he wants to be.
Plate tectonics is now, it's a major part of how we understand how our planet works.
What he was wrong about was the physics of it, and he thought it happened way too fast. Here's what he got right. The continents move. They really do.
And in fact, are still moving today.
We can measure that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'll give you a link to this video. Really is a beautiful video there. Claire says they move as fast as your fingernails grow. I just cut my fingernails today, Claire Burn. So I was actually thinking about that. Just about every time I cut my fingernails, I think about the movement of the continents. Because it's, you know, some continents move faster than others. Some years there's a little bit more motion, some years there's a little bit less. But on average, it is about the same rate that your fingernails grow. That's the rate at which the continents move. Yeah. Yeah. A few centimeters a year on average. Exactly, Hogan. Yep. Yep. So yeah, big paleo salute to Alfred Wegener, as Golganek says there. Big paleo salute to Alfred Wegener. And again, we did a whole stream about him for his birthday. Talked about kind of how scientific revolutions work, how ideas in science change, all that stuff. And this was back in November. Yeah, so check that out if you'd like to. There we go. The EAR is growing its own. Celeste, you mean the Earth? Growing at 7 millimeters a year. That sounds like a lot, Celeste. I'm not sure. I don't know why the Earth would be growing. If anything, I would imagine it would be shrinking slightly. Oh, East African Rift. Oh, never mind. No, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. The East African Rift is a thing that's continuing to happen. I thought that was a typo. No, you know what you're talking about there. Yeah. Yeah. Here, take a look at this from SciShow. They usually do pretty good work here.
On September 14th, 2005, there was an earthquake in a remote part of Afar, a region in northern Ethiopia. It wasn't very strong, but it was the first of many. Over the next 12 days, there were over 100 more quakes, most of them also relatively small. Then, on September 26th, a nearby volcano called Dabahu erupted. This was its first eruption in recorded history, and it came from a flat part of the volcano a few kilometers from the summit. The eruption didn't do too much harm, no people were seriously hurt, and at most it killed a couple hundred goats and camels. But it opened up a gigantic crack in the earth, which grew to 60 kilometers long and as much as 8 meters wide in only 10 days. And as you can probably imagine, this caught the attention of geologists around the world. It turns out that, as dramatic as it was, the crack was just one of the latest symptoms of an ongoing seismic shakeup in Africa that's eventually going to rip the continent in two, leading to the creation of a brand new ocean. Right now, Eastern Africa is going through a process called rifting, where the tectonic plates that make up the Earth's crust and upper mantle pull apart from each other. A giant plume of magma rising from deep inside the mantle is forcing the African and Arabian plates away from one another, forming a rupture in the Earth's surface. The result is the Great Rift Valley, which stretches more than 3,000 kilometers through the eastern part of the continent. Scientists have been studying the Great Rift Valley since around the turn of the 20th century, when an English geologist named John Gregory encountered it for the first time. Even though the theory of plate tectonics wouldn't be fully accepted for another 50 years
the details
or so,
at least.
he realized how important it might be. The valley is a system of several fractures that began forming at different times, and it's home to lots of seismic activity. The pressure from tons of magma bubbling up is what leads to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions like what happened in 2005. For a study published in 2018,
now we are going to get a new ocean eventually. Celeste, yeah. But here in North America too, we'll get one in the middle, like between Nevada and, well, basically Nevada is splitting apart right now. It's kind of unzipping. So, here. recent illustration of this. That'll have to work. Okay. So, in North America, we've got California over here, we've got Nevada, there's the Gulf of California there. This area here in Nevada is splitting apart. It's rifting. Eventually, the Gulf of California, between Baja California and mainland Mexico over here, this will continue to, like, kind of, as I understand it, kind of rip that part of the continent apart. And eventually you'll get ocean in the middle of Nevada. It's going to be really interesting. This will be millions of years in the future, obviously. So, yeah, I don't think I'll still be streaming that. Yeah, and the Rio Grande Valley Rift? I'm not familiar with that one, Displacer. Huh. Yeah. Better start planning now, says Missy Fate. Yeah, the book Basin and Range by John McPhee actually ends with a discussion of this. Just talking to people in, like, rural Nevada towns and being like, hey, are you aware of this? What do you think about it? People going like, oh, well, it'll be nice to have beachfront property. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Just moved all my books all around. But here we go. Yeah. Basin and Range by John McPhee. Yeah. My mind has drifted outside the building. I'm wondering what these people in this dry basin, a mile above sea level, would think if they knew what DeFaze, the geologist, was doing. If they were confronted with the news that an ocean may open in their town. I will soon find out. What? Are you stoned? The way I see it, I won't be here, so the hell with it. It's a little doubtful. It could be, but it's a little doubtful. If it happens real quick, I guess a couple of people will die, but if it's like most other things, they'll find out about it hundreds of years before, and people will move to get out of here. The whole world will probably go to hell before that happens anyway. You mean saltwater, crests, troughs, big splash and all that? Don't sweat it. You're safe here. We got a boat. These are all like different people. Each one of these is a different person responding. That's the best news I've heard in a couple of years. When I go bye-bye to the place below, why, that water will be here to cool me. I hope it's Saturday night. I won't have to take an extra bath. Yeah. Anyway. Page number of that book, says Cosmos? Well, shoot, this is, 215. Yeah. There you go, Charlie's tracking. Yeah. Old Too Bad Saturday. Moosey Fate, yeah. Anyway. But the same thing is happening in Africa, and it's happening a good deal faster there, which is interesting. In East Africa.
2018, scientists installed 2 seismic networks in Ethiopia and Eritrea. And these networks of seismographs recorded almost 5,000 earthquakes of at least magnitude 2.0 in 2 years.
Thank you, Claire, for finding that. Yeah.
Volcanoes too. One called Nyamuragira erupted 15 times between 1894 and 1979. What's happening in Eastern Africa is actually more common at the bottom of the ocean, where magma bubbling up into tectonic rifts forms features called seafloor ridges and helps drive the movement of continental plates. But the activity in Africa is giving geologists a chance to study the process up close. No submarines needed. As it turns out, what happened in 2005 was that a huge length of the rift cracked open all at once, beginning with the volcanic eruption and spreading in both directions from there. This was a bit of a surprise to scientists, who previously thought that such cracks, on the ocean floor as well as on land, only broke open a little bit at a time. Eventually, the Horn of Africa is going to split off from the rest of the continental plate and go its own way. Large areas of the Great Rift Valley are below sea level, cut off from the ocean only by a small piece of higher land in Eritrea. So when the split finally happens, seawater is going to come flooding into the rift, turning the Horn of Africa into an island and creating a new ocean.
And when he says flooding there, I mean, this is over geologic time. It's not like it's going to happen, bam, and then water comes flooding in.
We added 100 bits to Jaco 5000's cheer.
Well,
Bonus
thank you,
bits
Twitch.
unlocked. We added 50 more bits.
1,000 bits can make a wonderful difference in promoting the appreciation
Snack Fun's
and
Jaco.
understanding of fossil science here on Twitch.
I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jaco. Thank you, thank you. That is extraordinary, and I really appreciate it. Holy cow, thank you for the support. 1,000 bits. Snack Fun's. Indeed. I've got some dried fruit here that I've been enjoying. I didn't have a very big lunch today, so this is nice, and this it definitely helps, Jaco. Thank you for putting food on my table in a literal sense. Good stuff. Yeah. A bunch of Discord servers went kaput. Discord has a partial outage at the moment. Well, feel free to weather the storm here as we talk about geology. Yeah. Thank you again, Jaco. I really appreciate you. So yeah, when geologists talk about this sort of thing, when they talk about seawater flooding in, this is over, hundreds, thousands, millions of years. This is not like in a, corny disaster movie or something. It's just like slow encroachment of seawater because, some of it might be a little bit more dramatic because of an earthquake or something, but like, it's not going to be like in a disaster flick, really. Not really. Yeah.
Odds are none of us will actually get to see the new ocean. The process has been happening slowly for about 30 million years, and the rift is only widening at an average rate of a couple centimeters a year. So it will probably be tens of millions of years before traveling from Sudan to Somalia requires a boat. But in the meantime, we get to watch our planet reshape itself, giving us a teaser for what the world will look like long after we're gone. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow, and a special thanks to our President of Space.
Pretty cool. President of Space. Mayor of Space. When are you running for that higher office? Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Like when Gibraltar broke and the Mediterranean flooded. Yeah, that would have been a little bit more... That would have been more dramatic. Yeah, HD. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, we've got a bunch of people here. Before we get into our fossil news, what do you say we open up some P.O. Box packages? I've got 2 that arrived in the P.O. Box. Anybody here in chat happen to have sent something to the P.O. Box? Because if you did, and if it's a box, then I think I have it. Yeah. Let me know. So after the Mediterranean dried up, once left a giant salt desert? Charlie's Dragon? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about that. Depends when you went to the P.O. Box. It was on Wednesday morning, I think? Yeah. Oh, Golganek, we should check on that, though. Let's see. Let's do that real quick. What are these tabs here? And it still says 153 right now. Yeah. It hasn't updated yet. I'll refresh it just in case. Yeah, it might be an hourly or multi-hourly thing. But it's going to jump up there, I think. Which I'm excited about. And my package arrived yesterday, so not me. Oh, Lenina. Okay, well. We'll do that one next week, then. Well, actually, if... I already put it in the title, didn't I? And the go live notification. Cephalime, holy moly. Holy cow. 20 gift subs there.
It's the last time I'll play with a dinosaur.
Extraordinary, Cephalime. Thank you so much for the 20 gift subs there. And Helix Fossil, thank you for the 21 months. Welcome back, Helix. How you doing? It's good to have you here. Holy cow, Cephalime. 20 gift subs there. Extraordinary. That is really contributing to our goal for the week. I didn't think we were going to make it this week, but there's a chance now that we might, thanks to your support there. Thank you, Cephalime. Thank you very, very much. There's now 20 people in the chat who don't have to worry about any ads until well into next year. Holy cow, can you believe we've only got like 2 weeks left in the year 2023? Crazy.
This drawer contains almost all of the North American identified specimens of Troodon.
Sydney Golombek, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Yeah. And Helix Fossil says, new office? What I miss over my hiatus? Oh yeah. We've got a new office here. And hang on. That camera is borked right now. But yeah. What do you think of the new office? I'm still working on it, but I moved over the weekend. New place. Same me, but new place. And I'm really happy here. Things are good. Things are really good. And Sydney Golombek says, hi. Sydney, you got a wrench next to your name. Twitch staff. Very, very cool. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. I am deeply grateful for having such a wonderful platform to do science outreach on, so big salute to, I don't want to blow up your spot, but I was going to say big salute to everyone who helps run Twitch, but I don't want you to run away. Thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate you. Thanks for making this such a wonderful platform for science outreach. I actually make my living as a scientist here on this platform. Twitch funds my research, my fieldwork. I pay the bills by doing science outreach on this platform, and it's such a privilege. Thank you, Spartan. Thank you, Spartan, for gifting Sydney there. That's excellent. I appreciate that, Spartan. I really do.
811 gift subs in the channel.
Anyway, sorry, I'm not trying to blow up your spot, Sydney. Just thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. And let's see. Finally studying sauropods, Helix. Oh, very cool, Helix. Sydney, holy cow! Holy moly! Sydney, thank you so much for those 5 gift subs there. Thanks for welcoming me in. I hope I wasn't too enthusiastic about that. Thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I do this full time. You could call me the world's first full-time live streaming paleontologist, and you wouldn't be wrong. Thank you for that support. It does mean a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to those 5 chatters there too, including Rabsui and Mechanism and Hold It Now. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you a whole bunch. Let's see if we can make that other camera work, by the way, before we get into our P.O. Box stuff. Alright, hang on a second here.
We added 500 bits to Hogan 698's cheer. Bonus bits unlocked. We added 200 and...
Holy cow.
1,000 bits can make a wonderful difference.
Hogan?
Promoting the appreciation and understanding
Holy
of
moly.
here on Twitch.
That is extraordinary.
If we can get this HPE train to professional numbers. Chew.
And 5 gift subs from Jaco. Holy moly, everybody.
Jaco 5000 really wants ukulele with those 5 gift subs.
I don't even know what to say to that. Holy moly.
At that time, the land of the planet was clumped together in one vast supercontinent. Dinosaurs soon occupied every corner of that world.
Axeman, thank you for the 4 months of support there. Holy cow. Moving down in reverse chronological order, Jaco 5005 gift subs. Thank you very much for that. Holy cow.
Third, it may not seem like much. 500 bits goes a long way towards supporting science.
Helix Fossil, thank you for those 500 bits. Extraordinary. And 50 extra bits from Twitch. Thank you, Twitch. Helix Fossil, thank you for that. Holy cow. Golganek, thank you for the 300 bits there. I appreciate that more than you know, Golganek. Thank you for your generosity. 5,000 bits from Hogan, who says, let's see if we can get this hype train to professional numbers. Hogan. 5,000, that's so many bits. That's so many bits, Hogan. Holy cow.
Can make a wonderful difference in promoting the appreciation and understanding of fossil science here on Twitch.
An additional 1,000 from Quiztech.
We added 100 bits to Quiztech's chair. Bonus bits unlocked. We added 50 more bits.
Holy cow. Quiztech. Another 1,000. Holy cow, this is all adding up to... Shoot. How many bits so far?
Over 9,000!
Something like that. I don't know. I don't have buttons for other numbers.
It may not seem like much. 500 bits goes a long way towards supporting
Johnny.
science. I'll tweet here on Twitch.
Thank you, Rotten Johnny. Holy cow.
If you're feeling a bit
Do I
timid,
appreciate
try
that?
blaming the dinosaurs.
We added 50 bits to Rotten Johnny 88's chair. Bonus bits unlocked. We added 50 more bits.
That is spectacular, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support of science outreach here on Twitch. That means a lot. Happy holidays, says Quiztech. I appreciate that. And happy holidays to you and a happy new year. It is the jolly season, Helix Fossil. Thanks for making it a little bit more jolly. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow, we've got a hype train going here. We've got almost 3 minutes to try and get to a level 4. Let's see if we can get there. Holy cow. Excellent. And Dramignifight, how are you doing? Welcome back. It's good to have you here. Yeah, holy cow, everybody. Shoot, especially Hogan there. 5,000 bits. That's a cool $50 USD. I don't know what to say, Hogan. Holy moly. Did you just win the lottery or something? I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. Holy cow. Jaco, that's 5 gift subs. That's nothing to sneeze at either. Holy moly. Thank you for being so generous yourself.
At that time, the land of the planet was clumped together in one vast supercontinent.
Tier 2 from Axeman.
Dinosaurs soon occupied every corner of that world.
Axeman, did you just bump that up to a tier 2 sub? Holy cow. That definitely helps us with our Partner Plus push, so thank you. Huh? Says Jaco. Yeah, we've got ferns and ginkgos, and then what is this? You know what this is. This ain't no fern.
At a tier Tier 1 sub to Gullible Giraffe.
Fringe there, but what is this?
We added 500 bits to Cephalem's cheer. Bonus bits unlocked.
Holy cow.
150 more bits.
1,000 bits can make a wonderful difference in promoting the appreciation and understanding of fossil science here on Twitch.
5,001? Holy cow! Cephalime, that's nuts. That's crazy. And look at this! 20 gift subs from Spartan. We are very close to our sub goal for the week now.
I'll play with dinosaurs.
That's extraordinary. What? Holy moly. I'm without words. Chat, thank you so much. Holy cow. Holy cow. No Ebenezer Scrooge in this chat, at least. I mean, maybe it's after he had some sort of an epiphany.
Hey, a dinosaur!
I feel like that should have been a different alert for you, Tully Monster. Thank you for the follow. Sounds like you're in the right place.
Gifted a Tier 1 sub to Sir
State Fossil of Illinois. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Holy cow, Tully Monster. And Jayco, thank you for that gift sub to Sir Caffeine.
If they're removed, America loses them forever.
And thank you, Jayco. And Miss Yvette for the gift sub there too.
Spectacular, spared no expense.
MS Ovet
Spectacular.
1998 gifted a Tier 1 sub to Shimerisu 91.
I really appreciate that. Holy moly. This is wild, everybody. This is wild. Thank you. Holy cow. I don't know if I've ever gotten so many bits in one stream before. This is incredible. Thank you for your support of science outreach here on Twitch.
5000 gifted a Tier 1 sub to Quiztech.
Thank you, Jayco, for gifting Quiztech. Thank you, Jayco. Twitch, thank you for the
Fun,
30 bits there.
Spectacular, spared no expense.
Safari gifted a Tier 1 sub to Noorni _
Diagonal, yes indeed, Psychad Fern Ginkgo.
Subs in the channel.
You are correct, Diagonal. Some of your classic Mesozoic plants, and what is this? Holy cow. Blake the Snake, thank you for the 750 bits there. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. And holy cow, we have exceeded or met our sub goal for the week, 132 subs. That's what I calculated out I needed for to help keep things going, to get us on track for this month. So holy moly. We did it, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Holy cow. The sub goal is met. Yeah, Miss Yvette, and I don't have my ukulele here. It's still in my old apartment. I haven't moved it over yet. Next week, I'll go get my ukulele along with another bunch of stuff to move to my new place. I'll play some ukulele then. Holy cow. And, oh, very cool, Quiztech. Yeah, those are probably Cycas revoluta, which are the most common kind of cycad in cultivation. A potted equisetum for the back corner. Diagonal, I like that idea. I like that idea. Yeah. I'm on the lookout for some equisetum. But yeah. Good stuff. Acapella song or two if you don't have... Oh, Spartan, I'm not going to embarrass myself and sing acapella. Next week, I'll play us some ukulele. Yeah. Did I say what I didn't miss about? No? Huh? Phenomenal. Holy cow. 40 subs. And how many bits was that? 10,286 bits. Again. That is extraordinary. That wow was not meant sarcastically in the least. That was a very earnest wow. Thank you for that incredible support, everybody. That means a tremendous amount to me. It really does. Thank you, thank you. Holy cow. Yeah. And is that a new emote just from this? I put lick. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, that's great. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. We're going to get into some fossil news in a little bit here, but in the title and in the go live notification, I promised I would open up these boxes here that I got in the P.O. box, one of which arrived actually a few weeks ago, I guess. The other one arrived this week. So let's open them up, shall we? Let's do it. I don't yet have an overhead cam here to... Actually, you know what? I was going to try and get that set up for today's stream. Maybe we'll just save that for then, because I'm also not 100% sure that the people who sent these in are even here to watch. I'm gonna change that in the title. PO unboxing next week. Because Lenina sent something as well, and I would also like to open that up. Tony's My Baby says, I am here. You are here, Tony's My Baby? Well, can I ask which one is from you, and I'll open that one? We've got one that was sent all the way from Dublin, Ireland. From Scaled Beast. This was the one that that showed up first. And then we have one all the way from the desert state of Nevada, which is a neighboring state to California, so it's not that far. But I've literally walked between Nevada and California before. Let me know, Tony, and I'll open it up. Yeah, and that is a cool logo, the Scaled Beast one, isn't it? Yeah. And Tony might be beneath the ad right now, the crushing weight of Twitch ads. Alright, we should be back. Tony, is it the box from Ireland or the box from Nevada that I should open? Let me know. Yeah. And as we're waiting on a response, let me... take a look here at... Good, we've got that open. Excellent. Something from Amazon, neither of those. Okay, well, we'll do that next week then, Tony. Okay. Excellent. Sourworm says, Danny, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. Oh, Sourworm. I don't know what to say to that. You're very sweet. Thank you.
On formal occasions, he's called Brontosaurus. Big fella, isn't he? 70 feet long.
Nightingale's nest.
Scales at a substantial 35.
Thank you for the follow. 35 tons. Yeah. Sourworm, are you interested in a career in paleontology? And is there any advice I could give you on that front? Because I would be honored to be able to do that. It's so good to have you here. I'm gonna refresh the page here and see if our... Oh, we need to update our Partner Plus thing here. We're at 184 now. Excellent. So let's change that in the command. Not 153, we're at 184. Beautiful. We are well on our way. Take a look. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Sourworm says, any good schools I could go to for paleontology in America that won't leave me in debt for life? There's a few. I went to Montana State University for undergrad, which was, for most people, it'd be pretty affordable. For me, that's a challenge. But yeah, Montana State is a great school for that. There's a number of really good schools, but honestly, the best piece of advice that I can give you, like other people in the chat were saying, is that if you're interested in pursuing a career in paleontology, the number one best thing that you can do is to get involved in a paleontology program. If you're lucky enough to be near a museum, if you can get yourself into a museum, if you can volunteer there, or if you can't afford to volunteer, just if you can somehow land a job in the museum, even if it's as a custodian or working front desk or something like that, just being there within the walls of that building, where the action is happening, where the fossil science is taking place, that counts for so much. Because you'll get to meet paleontologists, you'll get opportunities to help with maybe fossil prep or laboratory work. Maybe you'll get to go out to the field and actually dig up fossils, learn how that works. The best piece of advice that I can give anybody who's interested in a career in paleontology is start doing some paleontology. Get into a museum, meet some paleontologists, be where the action is. That's how I got started as a paleontologist. When I was in high school, I volunteered. They didn't have a volunteer program at the time, but I basically cold emailed them. I cold emailed the University of California Museum of Paleontology in Berkeley, California. And I got to do stuff like this. Like dusting the Tyrannosaur skeleton. This is just a particularly photogenic thing. Also repairing the claw on the Tyrannosaurus skeleton too. Somebody swiped one of the replica claws, and I made a mold and cast of one of the remaining ones and then replaced it. Still to this day, that claw, digit 2, on the Tyrannosaurus right arm. So that's me back in high school. Yeah. This is where I got my start in paleontology, was volunteering in Berkeley. I would not be where I am today. I would not be who I am today if it weren't for that opportunity and for, really for Patricia Holroyd. Sandels, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. But a big shout out to to Dr. Patricia A. Holroyd. Let's see. There we go.
It's such a landmark of the university. Like, it's the symbol
There's Pat.
that is unique to Berkeley.
For students, there are a whole series of myths and legends associated with the Campanile. One of the most frequent ones we hear is that there are dinosaur bones in the Campanile. Sometimes they want to know if there are human bones in the Campanile. Neither of those things are true, but they are part of the mythos of the tower.
So we were talking about this last week. I really should have shown this video. Goodness. When we were talking about the Campanile.
Always
Yeah.
want to know is no, there aren't any dinosaurs in the Campanile, but there's something better.
Oh, and something better. Pat, mammal person. There are dinosaurs in the Campanile. They're all avian dinosaurs, though. They're birds. Bird fossils, like Teratornis, like we were looking at yesterday. Teratornis merriami.
Because it's filled with saber-toothed cats and ground sloths and bison and camels and things that you never imagined lived here in California, but are as much a part of California as anything else. There is something about fossils that captures the imagination because it tells you about the life of the past. You know, we often think about history as just going back a few thousand years, but we actually have, especially here in California, we have a history that stretches back millions of years, and we can see how the modern world came to be. We don't know exactly how many fossils we have in the Campanile. So we estimate there are probably close to 30,000 that are there, but only about 6,000 of them are entered in computer records. Everything has been touched at least once when they pulled it out of the ground. But in terms of scientific research, I would say fewer than 5% of all of our fossils have ever been studied.
Which is nuts.
That in the next few years, we'll
Such
actually
awesome stuff in there.
on the collections in the Campanile and actually get that data also out there and on the internet for everyone to search. Almost every specimen is exhibit quality in the sense that when you look at it, you know what it is. You know, you find skulls and you look at it and you go, oh, that looks like a dog skull. People are like, oh, well, you know, why would you store fossils there?
The Campanile fossils were there from the beginning of the Campanile.
Before there was a Museum of Paleontology, there was a Department of Geology, and these fossils were collected by J.C. Merriam, who was a...
I should have... This is the same exact... What I was talking about this yesterday when we were bringing up... let's see, a member of this community for Thursday Birds Day brought up Teratornis merriami. There we go. This giant Teratorn bird. In fact, it was the same exhibit that they took a picture of for Thursday Birds Day after going to the George C. Page Museum in Los Angeles, California, right next to the tar pits at La Brea. And I was talking about how that was named after John C. Merriam. That's so funny that they got footage of this same portrait that I was talking about yesterday on stream. Remember that? Yeah.
And these fossils were collected by J.C. Merriam, who was a faculty member here. There wasn't enough storage space for all the fossils, and so they had to keep running back and forth across campus. And about that time was when they were building the Campanile. And they said, there's all this space available, can we please use it for our fossils? Many parts of the collection are still housed much the way they were in the 1910s and 1920s.
Oh boy.
And actually, I probably shouldn't try to lift this, but it's too heavy. Whoops. No, that's okay. That actually happens fairly frequently. Other parts of it have been slightly upgraded, but it's not up to modern curatorial standards.
This is the part of the collection that is also the most in need of more attention and particularly fun.
Anyway, the reason we're watching this, the reason we brought this up is that when I worked at UCMP as a volunteer, I worked under Pat. She was my mentor all through high school, and Again, I would not be where I am today if it were not for Pat Holroyd. So I owe her a great deal. She's well known as an excellent resource for up-and-coming paleontologists, students, young researchers. Pat she's a real star. She is... I can't say enough good things about her.
Funding. I was up here yesterday with one of the graduate students, and she was frightened when she saw these shelves. She's like, they're sagging. This could just go any minute. And I said, well, they've been about to go any minute for more than 20 years. But this is something that, we live in an earthquake zone, and this is the sort of thing that frightens me, to know that this is here, and if we ever have a big one, I will have to come and clean it up. One of the things that is very nice about the campanile is that it maintains a fairly stable temperature, which is very good for fossils. The campanile, as it turns out, is like a nice little refrigerator unit. It's never too hot, it's never too cold, and so it helps maintain the fossils and to actually maintain the structural integrity of even the smallest fibers in the fossils. Well, the
Smile it on right there.
Is that we can rehouse them and really properly curate them to modern standards. To be able to do the whole tower would probably be several $100,000 just in cabinetry, and then you need the people to transfer this to capture the data. There are
be a lot of work.
So many new discoveries.
A lot of work.
I'm looking forward to sharing more of these stories. Most people don't have any idea that these are even paleontology at Berkeley, or they kind of have a vague notion of it. I at least can't imagine the campanile without the fossils in it, because it's just part of the story of the tower itself.
Cool stuff. Yeah. Excellent. And here's a link to that video here. Yeah. Anyway, and somebody was asking... Oh, TNT Gun Blow says, is it true that the fossil record only represents about 0.1% of living animals throughout history? It depends how you're counting them. Are you talking about at a species level, or are you talking about at an individual level? Or at a population level? And are you talking about the fossil record as all fossils that exist, or only fossils that are discovered and studied by scientists? Because there's like widely ranging numbers based on all those things, you know? It is very rare, like a rare occurrence to be fossilized in the first place. But there are certain environments where like the majority of vertebrate species will be preserved in a given environment. Some places are really good for fossil preservation, some places not so much. So it really depends. Yeah. Yeah. And Jabigna Fight says, how do children start in paleontology? I feel like letting them help dig for fossils would be fun for them, but I'm told having children excavate is frowned upon. Yeah, Jabigna Fight. I think books and documentaries and like other ways for kids to learn about fossils, going to museums, maybe even like doing, if such a thing exists in your region, like a fossil camp or something, can be a life-changing experience. All of those things are wonderful.
You need to take some of your own advice. Aren't you the man who told me to live every week like it's
Kalek.
and that nothing's impossible except for dinosaurs? Don't give up on life, sir. Wow.
Kalek, holy cow, 27 months.
Biter said happy holidays and all that.
I appreciate that, Kalek.
Here. BTW, you more than deserved that 5k bits and 20 subs earlier.
It was more than 20 subs. So thank you, Kalek. Holy cow. That was really extraordinary. And thank you for your continued support. 27 months is a long time, Kalek. It really is. Thank you, thank you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Holy moly. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you. Yeah. And Charlie's Dragon, yeah, the Campanile is where the peregrine falcons nest. In fact, Berkeley falcons, Cal falcons, webcams. It's getting dark outside, so yeah, there we go. Oh man, I'm so lucky to live here. This is a view of San Francisco Bay from the top of the Campanile, that bell tower, and you can see all the falcon droppings up here. That's one of the nest boxes. So anyway, here's a link to webcams page for calfalcons.berkeley.edu. Check it out. Anyway. Spartan says, okay, how about one less F-35 and we fund the whole thing and get 3D renders of all the specimens online. So Spartan, cheers to that idea. Yeah. I hear those things aren't very good anyway. They can't fly in the rain. They keep decapitating pilots and stuff. Whole thing's a boondoggle. Cancel it. You know? Spartan. Agreed. And yeah. And Sandel says, are any dinosaur fossils found in Northern Europe, in Scandinavia, or the Nordics? Sandel's, dinosaur fossils are very rare in Scandinavia, but they are not completely unknown. Extort, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Yeah, I think Norway is home to a particular dinosaur, is it not? Let's see. There we go. So, dinosaurs are extraordinarily rare in that part of the world, verging on non-existent, but in 1997, workers on an oil platform of the Snarra oil field, located at the northern end of the North Sea, within the Lunda Formation, were drilling through sandstone for oil exploration when they stumbled on a fossil they believed to be plant material. The drill core containing the fossil was extracted from 2,256 meters below the seafloor. This is one of those rare examples of a deep sea fossil. You pretty much only find deep sea fossils through like core drilling like this for oil exploration. Martin Sander and Nicole Klein, paleontologists at the University of Bonn, we're actually going to be talking about the University of Bonn in a little bit, analyzed the bone microstructure and concluded that the rock preserved fibrous bone tissue from a fragment of a limb bone belonging to Plateosaurus, making it the first dinosaur found in Norway. Material referred to Plateosaurus has also been found in the Fleming Fjord Formation of East Greenland, but they were given the new genus name Issi in 2021. We've got this lovely skull of this beautiful basal sauropodomorph dinosaur. Yeah. Pretty cool. And Jameson Land, it's a peninsula in eastern Greenland, and they've got some beautiful sedimentary rock out there. Gorgeous. So yeah, would you consider Greenland to be part of Scandinavia? I wouldn't, but it is. Greenland is administered by... Is it Denmark? Yeah, autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. How very quaint. That's a cool coat of arms there. Look at that. It's a...
Take the phone to Mommy now! It's the dinosaur man!
Okay.
Zella Zam, thanks for the 2 months there.
If I
Appreciate
were to wish
you.
to become a dinosaur, which would be the worst dinosaur to be turned into by a genie?
Oh boy, Zealous Sam. The worst dinosaur to be turned into by a genie. Oh, this one. No, hang on. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Raptor Rex? You'd have a really dumb name, and also you're not real. I mean, you would be a juvenile Tarbosaurus. Raptor Rex is not its own kind of dinosaur. It's just a juvenile Tarbosaurus. So that would be... Yeah, Raptor Rex is the name. I'm not kidding, Sir Caffeine. Potentially dubious genus. No, this thing is totally dubious. I'm not going to get into a whole spiel about this, but when people ask me, Danny, what's your least favorite dinosaur? That's always a contender. I don't know. Runners-up would be Dakotaraptor. Dakotaraptor. Not a real dinosaur, most likely. Yeah. Cyant Stream says another 10 out of 10 background today. Thank you, Valent. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you, thank you. It's, I'm working on the new space. I'm working on it. I'm glad you appreciate that. It means a lot. Yeah. Anyway. And Celeste says, what's your favorite dinosaur then? Oh, I've got a number, Celeste. A number of different favorite dinosaurs. And literally, I could talk about them for days and days. But there's a command there. Check that out. We actually need to get into our fossil news here. We need to talk about a cool new discovery that actually incorporates Mesozoic plants. I put these up before I even realized that we were going to be talking about this today. I didn't realize that this new finding had been published. So let's go ahead and get into that, shall we? Let's do some fossil news here. Starting now. All right, welcome to Fossil News. This is the part of Paleontologizing in which we talk about new publications, new published pieces, sometimes just news stories, but here's an actual scientific publication here that I am very excited about. Yeah. And 13 Knox, thank you for gifting Sandels. I really appreciate that. Thank you, 13 Knox.
First gift sub in the channel.
Excellent. This is super cool because I saw this research presented at a conference back in June, and I was blown away by it then. Let's see if I can find you. There we go. Here is the talk here by Mariah Howell, a PhD student, I believe, at the University of Bonn in Germany. Determining dinosaur diets with various lines of evidence. What kinds of plants did dinosaurs eat? How can we tell? And what does it make sense for them to have eaten based on how nutritious some of these plants would have been? This is the paper here. I'm going to give you a link to it before we even start discussing the details of the paper. This is, thank goodness, open access. Everybody loves an open access, non-paywalled paper. So there's a link right there. But for a minute, let's talk about plants during the age of the dinosaurs. First of all, what do we mean when we talk about the age of the dinosaurs? Let me walk you through here real quick. Just linear time. So, this is a geologic time chart. This is based on the combined work of literally thousands of scientists. Oh. Holy cow. Listen to that hot new sound. Snail Chaser. Holy cow. Welcome to Paleontologizing, Snail Chaser and Raiders. I'm taken aback. Snail Chaser, how was your stream? I hope it was really good. I had no idea you were streaming. Welcome. Everybody, Snail Chaser is one of my very best friends. We grew up together. Really one of the people I've known for the longest in my life that I'm still in touch with, who's not, like, related to me. Yeah, we've known each other since kindergarten. Well, since he was in kindergarten, I was in first grade. Snail Chaser started streaming on Twitch here a while ago and does all kinds of video games and stuff. Check him out. Give him a follow. He's playing something called Skyrim. Skyrim? Sounds neat. Yeah. We got a snail raid. Hey, I'm Snail's online gaming friend. He's so great. Isn't he, Discardo? Welcome to Paleontologizing, Discardo. Everybody go follow Snail Chaser right now if you're not yet following him. I know video games are maybe kind of a more obscure thing on Twitch. You know, people come to Twitch for the science, obviously. But there are some people who play video games on Twitch, and Snail Chaser is one of them. His streams are always a lot of fun. I wish I had a clip to show you. Can I find a clip real quick? Videos. Let's see. Highlights. We want clips. All time. Let's see.
Why'd you come here?
I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Anyway, good stuff. Snail Chaser, go follow him. Snail Chaser, go follow him. Stop copying me. Stop copying me. No, you. Stop copying me. No, you.
Living here, like, I wouldn't mind, by the way, just for the record, I wouldn't mind living here, like, specifically this spot right here. This is my gaming setup right here, okay, and that's where I keep my stuff.
Anyway, where was the one with the ant? That was my favorite clip. Clips.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Please. There's
Sometimes
too
Snail
many
Chaser
beans. Oh my god!
He doesn't swear there. Anyway, go follow Snail Chaser. I'm just thrilled that you've rated Snail Chaser. It's good to see you. Hope things are good. Sorry I've been so busy lately. We're supposed to go see the new Godzilla movie. I was hoping to do that today, and I was just way too busy. I even started my stream late today because I was so busy. But anyway, yeah. Historic Kingdom update tomorrow. Oh, very nice, Dr. Terra. Very nice. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, I hope you followed Snail Chaser. Everyone. Go end the stream. You need to see it. I will, Risadego. I will. I've heard it's very good. Snail Chaser's like, holy cow, it's the best movie I've seen in a long time. So, you know he has good taste. Another reason you should go follow him right now. But, yeah. What were we talking about here? Oh, yeah. We're about to dive into this paper here and talk about Mesozoic plants. Again, here's a link to this really exciting new paper. I was lucky enough to be able to catch a talk that turned into this paper back in June at the Mesozoic Terrestrial Ecosystems Conference in Salt Lake City. There were like 100 paleontologists and geologists that got together to share their work. It was one of the best conferences I've ever been to. And Mariah Howell here had one of the most interesting talks, and I'm thrilled that this has now been published. But before we understand that, we got to talk about Mesozoic plants, first of all. So during the time of the dinosaurs, a lot of the plants that we have today did not yet exist. Things like roses, fruit trees, grasses did not yet exist. Imagine a world without grass. Imagine a world dominated by horsetails, cycads, ferns, conifers, ginkgos, Venetitalian plants. Probably don't even know what those are. It would have been an interesting kind of world. You know? A world of pure imagination. No, it's based on fossils, Gary and Kellis. Here is a lovely illustration by John Sibbick, it looks like. Yeah. This is, I think, Cretaceous Great Britain here. So in this landscape, you've got no grasses, but you've got ground cover plants, things like club mosses and spike mosses. Club moss, there we go. That's like this, covering the ground. Instead of grass, you had stuff like this. You had things like, horsetails. Like this as well, especially in wetter areas. You have these kinds of plants. You had things like tree ferns. Like this one right here. I didn't actually know I'd be displaying this when I brought it over today, but... Oh, that's not good. Oh well. Tree ferns. Like this bad boy. Yeah. And then ferns, cycads, and ginkgos. I'm trying to find you a decent video on fossil plants here, and it is proving difficult. let's just take a look at this. So this is in the Botanic Garden of Liberec in the Czech Republic. We've got all of these beautiful plants in here. Think of this as like a Mesozoic forest. You've got all these beautiful ferns, seed ferns and spore ferns. You've got horsetails. You've got tree ferns. Look at those beautiful tree ferns up there. Yeah. Cycads are another really interesting group of plants. Honestly, my favorite living group of plants. There's a cycad right there. Look at that big old cone on it. Such... here's a link. Such a cool group of plants. These plants are very different from the plants that we have around today. I mean, some of these still exist in parts of the world, but they're not the dominant plants. Later on, and
Thank you very much. Your stream is awesome. I also like your shirt.
Thank you.
Less than 3.
Marined, thank you for the 300 bits. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Beautiful. I'm glad you're enjoying. I hope you're learning something. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate you. Let's see. What was that called? What's the Walking with Dinosaurs episode? What's the title of the one with Ornithochirus? Flight of the Ornithochirus is the name of the soundtrack. Goodness, what's it called? Giant of the Skies, that's what it's called. Let's try part... Nope, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work either. Just trying to find you this one little snippet. Iguanodon. Here we go. This'll work. Good stuff. So, during the early Cretaceous period, something major happened.
The dinosaurs is warm and tropical. There are only 2 seasons, dry and wet. Now it is the time of year for tropical storms. In moments, the short stretch of coast is drenched. Welcome relief for thirsty plants and lean rivers. But it is a disaster for a migrating pterosaur. The Ornithochirus is grounded by the heavy rain, frustrating his urge to get to the breeding site.
Amila Rollo, I'm glad you learned about tree ferns.
He
They're
shelters
super
as
cool.
best he
Some of my
can.
favorite plants.
The fine, downy fur that covers his body needs to be kept dry.
All right. And we've got some lovely tree ferns there. Again, this is a world without grasses. Grasses had not evolved yet.
These are among the most successful dinosaurs on the planet, populating every continent, thriving on a variety of vegetation. The river estuary provides them with an ideal break in
Look
the
at that.
forest.
Beautiful. You've got these lovely tree ferns here. They probably filmed this in like Tasmania or something, where you've got these gorgeous tree ferns all over the place.
There is fresh water, and the banks here are thick with lush podocarp scrub and tree ferns.
Tree ferns, see? So this is in the early Cretaceous.
Iguanodon are so successful is that
We'll
they
get-
have developed a new way of tackling
I'll orient you here in a
Cretaceous
minute.
plants. Most dinosaurs can only crudely slice food with their teeth, but iguanodon are the first herbivores to have back teeth that can grind up vegetation before swallowing. This ability to chew speeds digestion of even the toughest plant material. The forests near the equator are also witness to another landmark in evolution.
Here we go.
First
Flowers.
simple flowers have arrived.
Yeah.
Adding a dash of color to an otherwise green world.
Yep. So in the early Cretaceous, flowers first
A new
evolved.
relationship with insects. Attracted by the color.
Okay. Yeah. It's an unfortunate place for it to split, but that's okay. Imagine a world without flowers, a world without grasses. That's what it was like in the late Jurassic. If we go back to the Jurassic period, 150 million years ago. And Dinochirus Wimpy Arms. What a name! Welcome to Paleontologizing. Dinochirus and Wimpy Arms, not two things I would associate. Are you saying you've got stronger arms than Dinochirus there? It's good to have you here. Sounds like you're in the right place. Yeah. And a world without flowers. I know, right, Lordy? Holy cow. So, in the Jurassic period, that was the case. Also in the Triassic. Dinosaurs first evolve about here. Either the middle or the beginning of the upper Triassic. In the Jurassic period, dinosaurs really take over the Earth. Still no flowers. It's not until, like, maybe the Apatian or something like that, or maybe the Barremian, that flowers first evolve. I'm not entirely sure. But flowers and flowering plants, what we call angiosperms, do not evolve until this point. Like with Iguanodon earlier. But if we're going to go back to the Jurassic period... if we're going to think about these dinosaurs that were thundering across the landscape, knocking over trees, eating whatever they could to their heart's content. They were not dining on flowers. Flowers had not evolved yet. So what in the world are they eating? How did some of the biggest dinosaurs that ever lived get so big? How did that happen? You know? How could they feed their massive bulk on what was often considered to be low-quality forage? They didn't have fruits, stuff like that. Not high-quality plant material. They're eating ferns and conifers and horsetails and stuff. Well, this was such a cool talk that I got to see back in June, and now it is a cool publication. Digestibility of dinosaur food plants revisited and expanded. Previous data, new taxa, microbe donors, foliage maturity, and seasonality. This is super, super cool stuff. So let's download that PDF. And open it up. Come on, computer. There we go. Yeah. And like I said, this is open access here. You gotta love an open access paper. No paywall. Yeah. And I'll also give you the link to the paper here too, if you'd like to download it and read it for yourself. So, this is an actual scientific paper here. I think that's it's really important to show scientific papers on stream because this is how we as scientists communicate ideas to one another over long distances outside of Zoom, you know? This is the currency of science, is scientific papers. When we have an idea and we test it and we put all this work into it, when we make new discoveries, this is how we communicate that to one another. This is what makes it count, is when you publish it in a journal like this. And that's what you're seeing here. So this is a glimpse behind the curtain. This is straight from the science horse's mouth, so to speak. So, we're going to look at the abstract, which is like a short summary of the paper. It's going to talk about why this is so exciting. Think of it, like I've said before, it's like a movie trailer, except it also tells you how the movie ends. There's spoilers in it, you know? It's a short summary of the paper and why it's important. So, although the living relatives of the Mesozoic flora, plants during the age of the dinosaurs, were once assumed to constitute a nutritionally poor diet for dinosaur herbivores. So plant-eating dinosaurs, we used to assume like, oh yeah, they're not really getting much nutrition out of these Mesozoic plants. Poor them. In vitro fermentation of the foliage is shown that gymnosperms, ferns, and fern relatives can be as highly digestible as angiosperm grasses and dicots. So what does that mean? That means that these plants that you see here, things like ginkgos, ferns, cycads, tree ferns, maybe not cycads or ginkgos in particular, but, well, I don't know, we'll see. But ferns and horsetails and plants like that, non-flowering plants, if you're going to ferment them, you can actually get a lot of energy out of them. That's almost comparable to some of our modern flowering plants. Which is cool. Tummy fermenters. There you go, Claire. Yeah. Because nutritional information cannot be preserved in the fossil record, this laboratory approach, first published in 2008, provides a novel alternative to evaluate the digestive quality of the plants that were available to dinosaur mega-herbivores such as sauropods. Sauropods are, of course, these guys. The long-necked, plant-eating dinosaurs. The largest animals to have ever walked the Earth. How did they get so big? How is that even possible? On a diet of low-quality plants? That's why this paper's so exciting. However, very few further studies have since been conducted to supplement and confirm the high fermentative capacity of non-angiospermous taxa. So, like, plants like this, how much energy can you get out of them? There hasn't been a lot of work on this. So this is kind of explaining why this paper is important. Here we show that the living relatives of the Araucariaceae, these are like monkey puzzle trees, and the Equistaceae, these are horsetails and their relatives, are consistently highly digestible, even between taxa, and when influenced by environmental and biological factors. While fern taxa are inconsistent on the family level. So different kinds of ferns, some will be highly digestible, some won't be. There's a lot of variation there among ferns, apparently. But things like Araucaria, monkey puzzle trees, and their relatives, also things like Norfolk pine, not actually a pine. It's an araucariid. Araucariaceae? Anyway, these are actually really common as houseplants. I've even seen these dressed up as Christmas trees before. But plants like this go back to the Mesozoic. In fact, we were watching some clips from Walking with Dinosaurs earlier. You see a lot of these in Walking with Dinosaurs in various scenes. Araucariids are really common in that series. Particularly in the last episode, as I recall. Death of a Dynasty, they called it. Let's see here. There we go. And apparently there's sound. These are Araucaria right there. Monkey puzzle trees.
Between the barren lava flows. In the
See?
warm, moist climate of the late Cretaceous period, the vegetation has transformed. Instead of conifers, broad-leaved trees fill the forest canopy.
Yeah, that's funny because they're showing conifers here. Anyway, yeah. These were also really common during the Jurassic, which is kind of what this paper is talking about. Yeah, so that's Araucaceae. These are the monkey puzzle trees. Maybe I'll find you another short video on them because they're also really interesting. Monkey puzzle tree. Yeah. I remember there being a good video about this, and I'm not seeing it anywhere. Let's take a look at this.
These Araucaria in southern Chile are among the last of their kind. Deforestation and climate change have caused numbers to dwindle. They're among the oldest tree species on Earth, around in the time of the dinosaurs. They still grow on the land of the indigenous Mapuche Pehuenche people. Isaac Uenchunao and his family collect the pine nuts. To harvest them, they spend days roaming the mountain forests. His aunt says it's always been this way.
We're Pehuenches. And so we live where we live. We're surrounded by Araucaria trees and mountains.
Pehuenche means people of the Araucaria. They once lived in seclusion in southern Chile's dense mountainous forests. But as the great forests disappeared, so did the Pehuenche's traditions. The Uenchunaos are among the few families still living as close to nature as
I didn't know about this. This is really interesting.
During the last harvest season, Juanita Uenchunao collected 400 kilos of pine nuts. The pine nuts are eaten boiled or roasted, or made into flour, puree, or coffee.
Interesting.
Most of the harvest is sold.
I didn't know that people ate these. That's wild. Very cool. Very cool. And you know, I swear we had a good video about this, about like a monkey puzzle tree that was brought back to England. Take a look at this.
Did you know that over 200 million years ago, the southern hemisphere continents were locked together
talking about this
in
earlier.
an ancient supercontinent called Gondwana?
Gondwana, yeah.
People don't have to travel the world to go see these plants. You can see all this.
So Gondwana is the lower half of Pangaea. Laurasia is the upper half. That's half portion. North America, Europe, and Asia together are Laurasia, and then Gondwana is South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, Madagascar, Australia, New Guinea, New Zealand. Yeah. Yeah.
People don't have to travel the world to go see these plants. You can see all these trees here in our Gondwana Arboretum, here at the Auckland Botanic Gardens.
Very nice. In New Zealand. Then I'll see you later, Lenina. Thanks for being here.
In South
Appreciate
America,
you.
and this behind me is a monkey puzzle.
Yeah. That's a small one, a young one there.
So the ancestor of these plants would have developed these spikes to protect themselves against dinosaurs or being eaten by dinosaurs.
Yep.
This tree
Here, give me a second. I actually have one of these in
There's a lot more growing
in
to
my
do.
new place.
It will reach
Hang on.
50 meters tall and older than you and I, over 1,000 years old. So if a visitor came back in 500 years' time, these trees will be so tall, and they'll lose most of their lower leaves, and they will develop a straight, tall trunk, and they will have an umbrella-like canopy. This is standing at about 3 meters, so a long way to go yet.
All right. Oops, sorry, I didn't realize that it ended. There we go. This is my Araucaria right here, that I am really happy to be growing at my new place. It's doing really well here. This, if I take good care of it, will hopefully outlive me. Who knows? It could be well over 100 feet tall. And this is not actually a monkey puzzle tree per se. This is not Araucaria auricana. This is Araucaria angustiflora, I think. Do I have that right? Let's look them up on the Tree of Life. But, I grew that one from a tiny little seedling. Let's see. Araucaria. Monkey puzzles. There we go. I guess monkey puzzles is like a common name for the entire group. There we go. Yeah. And the one that I have is... Let's see, that's Araucaria auricana, which is the famous one from Walking with Dinosaurs, and the same one that you saw in that video. There we go. The candelabra tree. Araucaria angustifolia. Critically endangered, apparently. Shoot. I have a critically endangered species here in my office. Apparently that's much more common with plants than it is with animals, to be able to have these in cultivation. But, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Let's just put this on my desk back here for now. It's a good place for it. Critically endangered is a step up from all the extinct critter depictions you have. There you go, Charlie's Dragon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty wild. Critically endangered. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you an appreciation for these plants that existed during the Mesozoic, some of which are their descendants are around today. Yeah, it's also known as the Paraná pine, Brazilian pine, or candelabra tree. But it's not an actual pine, even though the names refer to it as such. Prehistoric distribution of A. angustifolia in earlier geologic periods is very different to the present day. Fossils were found in northeastern Brazil. Present-day range is recent, the species moving into this area during the later Pleistocene and early Holocene. probably due to climatic shifts. But that is what they look like when full grown. In fact, there's some around Lake Merritt here in Oakland that I recognize. Beautiful, beautiful plants. They really are. So these are some of the plants that existed during the Mesozoic. During the Jurassic in particular, which is what we're talking about here. Araucariaceae, that is this group of plants. And the Equistaceae, which are horsetails. But yeah. Anyway, these results that these are actually highly digestible, that these are good eaten for herbivores. These results reinforce previous findings about the high energetic potential of Jurassic age plant families. 14 species of fern and gymnosperm foliage from 5 Jurassic families were collected in the spring and the fall, then analyzed for the digestibility using the in vitro Hohenheim gas test. Now this is wild. Here, let me show you. I don't know if I can pull up the image here. I'm not gonna be able to find it quickly enough, it looks like. But, yeah, this is kind of a wild method of testing gastric juices. Basically, you take a cow like this, and for the purposes of science, I know it sounds a little, I don't know, I get squicked out by this a little bit, kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. But you make an incision in the side of the cow, and if you do it well, I guess the cow barely feels it. You know, the cow is supposed to be happy and healthy during all this. But, you basically, like, you have a hole in the side of the cow. You can reach into the cow, and you can extract gastric juices from it. And then you can put those into some scientific vessels like this, and you can test how well those gastric juices can digest this plant material. A ported cow. There you go, Will62. Basically, yeah. Yeah. And to me, this is like, ugh, that's... Yeah. Here, I'm gonna warn you to look away if you're a little bit squeamish about this kind of thing. Okay, look away now. I'm gonna pull up this image. You ready? There we go. This is basically what that looks like, where the cow has got like a port in its side like that. You know? Yeah. Anyway, it's over now. You can look back. This sort of thing really, like, I don't know. I don't like to look at it. Because, I don't know. I'm squeamish about this sort of thing. I'm a vegetarian, for crying out loud. I don't even eat cows. Well, eating a cow is far worse than doing anything like that, honestly. Yeah. That's not as bad as a hole. Okay, Lordy, but still, like, ugh. Yeah. It's really interesting to do this sort of thing for studying dinosaurs. And that's what was done here. So, this is the in vitro Hohenheim gas test. Equisetum, Araucaria, and Angiopteris were the most digestible genera in both seasons, while Agathis, Wilhelmia, and Maratia were the least digestible. Interesting. The season in which specimens were collected was found to have had a significant effect on gas production in 4 out of 16 samples. Furthermore, leaf maturity influences digestibility in Maratia attenuata. Maratia, is that a tree fern? Oh, it's like a seed fern. Yeah, cool. Okay, okay. Nice. Cool. And not yet not in Cyathea cooperi. Cyathea cooperi is this right here. That's a Australian soft tree fern. Cyathea cooperi. Yeah, the Australian tree fern. One of my favorite plants. They are just gorgeous. And we have a lot of them here in the San Francisco Bay Area. People plant them in cultivation. Especially like on the island of Alameda or in certain parts of San Francisco. You see these everywhere as parts of landscaping. Because they're beautiful. They really are. So these are good to eat year-round, it sounds like. But with Maratia attenuata, that seed fern, the younger fronds are the ones that are softest and easiest to eat. Finally, the species of the rumen fluid donor did not influence digestibility. So whether they used cows or sheep, that didn't seem to have a strong influence on which of the plants were the most digestible. So that's interesting that it sounds like, and if I remember Mariah's talk properly, this is like a real signal here. It doesn't matter if you're a cow or a sheep or maybe a pig or whatever. The particular kind of gastric juice that you have, it's not like, oh, well, Araucaria were very digestible to cows, but not to sheep. It wasn't like that. It's like, across the board, certain plants are just more digestible, which is a really interesting finding there. With the original data set supplemented by 1 new genus and 4 species, this study confirms and expands previous results about the nutritional capacity of the living relatives of the Jurassic flora. Really, really cool stuff. This is the sort of paleontological study that I get really excited about. Really, really neat. So we're gonna look through the paper here real quick. We'll see if we've got any figures. Sample collection. I don't actually expect to see a lot of figures here. Got a graph, some graphs. But it doesn't look like we have any cow pictures or anything. Yeah. But really, really neat stuff. And I remember being fascinated by this. Like, holy cow. Horsetails are very digestible plants. And I remember from Mariah's talk, she was very surprised by that as well. That, there we go. Horsetails like this, apparently pretty nutritious. You wouldn't expect that. I certainly wouldn't expect that. These are considered very primitive plants. But, I don't know. Especially in wet areas, these grow everywhere. Gardeners often hate these plants because they're really difficult to get rid of. They're considered a pest. I think they're beautiful. But a lot of gardeners don't necessarily feel that way. But apparently they're also surprisingly nutritious, which is really cool. Diagonal says horsetails can be used as fine sandpaper. Yeah, scouring rush is what they're used for. I believe native peoples in various places around the world would use these as like to clean pottery and stuff like that. You know, the natural equivalent of a Brillo or steel wool or something like that, you know? Yeah. Yeah, an Afrobendic girl. Yeah, foxtails are very different from horsetails. Those are flowering plants. Those didn't evolve until long after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Yeah. You can still buy bits of these in woodworking and craft stores? That's really interesting, Diagonal. Yeah. 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 Anyway, these are... I think they're beautiful. And I'd actually like to get some of these for the office here. For future streams. Anyway, I really got to wrap this up. Because I've got some other stuff I got to take care of. Other office things to do. Sciencey things I got to do. So, Oh, my brother's texting me, too. Anyway, everybody. At some point, I'd love to actually bring Mariah on here, especially now that this is published, to interview her about this. So I should probably get in touch and see if she would be amenable to doing that, because it'd be really cool to actually have her describe this whole process, talk about her work with all of you. And it seems like I also recently received an email from Tony Martin as well, bringing him on for an interview, so I got to get back to him too. I got to wrap up this stream tonight. So without further ado, let's wrap it up. And there's a Smilodon there, like Pat was talking about in that video earlier, to run our credits over. So, here in the credits, you will see the names of very important people. Followers, subscribers, and resubscribers, gifters and cheerers, and moderators, and raiders. People who make these broadcasts possible. I am deeply grateful to these people. So thank you to everybody whose names are showing up here. Especially those who contributed financially today. We made our sub goal for the week. I did not think that was going to happen, and I'm delighted and grateful, and can't wait to put together some material for next week too. We'll have a different background for next week as well. New things in the office. Anyway, let's see who else is on right now. You know what? Let's go say hello to Science Streams. I know we've got...
tells us something about how the world was.
80 million years ago. I don't know why that alert cuts off so fast, but a Matt Scientist, thank you for the follow, and welcome to Paleontologizing. We're going to go right into Science Streams, because I love to hear Belint and Lita talk about new discoveries, especially in their field of molecular biology, genetics, epigenetics, etc. A Matt Scientist says, nice show. Thanks. I'm sorry I'm wrapping up right now, but tune in on Monday. We'll be talking about more fossil news. I'll have more 3D printed fossils to show off. More paleontology Q&A, all that good stuff. And pretty soon here, hopefully, we'll be able to start doing some more interviews with other fossil scientists, too. Not just me yapping at the camera into the mic, but having other researchers in my field talking to you about their work also. Anyway, everybody, let's go tune into Science Streams. They've still got about 7.5 minutes to go before they start, so it's a chance to get up and go to the bathroom and get a bite to eat, whatever you want to do. But I'll see you a little bit later in the chat for Science Streams, everyone. Take care, have a great weekend. I hope to see you on Monday. Take care.